If you haven't been cast again, then that's all you need to know about how well you did.
Possibly. I mean, not always. What if you're just genuinely not
You're
right
rubbish.
for any part on
Despise.
this film?
What happened was the director walked from the last take you did, stared in the mirror, and then punched it, imagining it was your face, and it shattering to 1,000 pieces was them hoping that that's your dreams. Welcome to this important episode of Hex Talks. 10 years ago, I created a video that transformed the landscape of
10 years ago.
acting and performance. Let me introduce to you, since she has so kindly interrupted my opening introduction, Bobag, Megan Tremethick. Actress, filmmaker, writer, artist extraordinaire. So, 10 years ago, I created a video that transformed the landscape of acting and performance. It consisted of a variety of top secret tips for actors trying to achieve success in the film industry from the perspective, the only perspective that counts, of that of a producer. Now we revisit that important video, and I am joined by a young actory type person who now has the opportunity to question me on those points and discuss whether the advice has changed.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes.
I see you have prepared notes with a highlighter.
With a highlighter.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
I just hope the audience is ready. All those young, ambitious actors desperate to achieve success at any cost who are about to become enlightened with amazing and incredible advice.
We are going to crush your dreams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the first point is get in touch with producers by buying them lunch.
Oh, yes, that was my original advice.
Do you still feel the same?
Well, you know, I think one of the best things an actor can do is when they introduce themselves to a filmmaker, and that with an independent film is invariably a film producer. That was Michael waving there.
Sorry.
The paper was blocking the shot. That's
Okay. My mistake.
That's okay, Megan. So you will learn a lot from this important video. So your introduction to a film producer, yeah, it's really important. And most actors, or aspiring actors, do this by adding you on Facebook and saying something like, hey, my name is Jay-Z, and just
Jay-Z?
Yeah, and just so you know, I'm available, so just hire me when you need actors. Or let me know, please, whenever there is any acting roles, because that's what a producer does. They scour through their Facebook for all these no-name, hopeless adolescents who've randomly added them on Facebook, and a tireless search to ensure that every one of them is personally contacted meticulously of any and every acting opportunity that might exist within their company. And it's really all I've got time to do.
Yeah, so lunch is a good idea. And just doing the legwork. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Right, well...
My mansplaining you. Sorry.
Well, so you're pretty much of the mind then that buying lunch for a producer is a great idea.
I think it is. I mean, again, you've got to reach out to the producer.
I really
First.
assumed that you might be more sympathetic to the actor's perspective. I see you're very much on the producer's side already.
Oh, I'm not on the producer's side. They're all bastards.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's hardly the attitude I would recommend for aspiring actors to have towards producers.
No, but in all
I
seriousness.
don't know what Megan's trying to tell you here, guys. I'm really sorry. She's clearly drunk or something.
But no, it is good to just try and kind of be friends with people. Like, I think the only thing with like buying
Actors
lunch-
don't really have friends, though. They're
Let
generally
me speak.
they're generally sociopaths, narcissistic psychopaths,
Okay, but if you're gonna try and befriend a producer and say buy them lunch, I would just say don't make your agenda too obvious. I mean, it is pretty obvious that you want to be cast, but just try and think about it as kind of the networking as well, making friends in the industry, because.
Oh, hello. This is Biscuit. Biscuit is also an aspiring actor. Biscuit's just finished their 20-course Spirit and Healing workshop class, which involves hugging trees and reciting self-written poetry about emotional experiences they've had whilst pursuing the craft of acting. Did you have something you wanted to say to Megan, Biscuit? Oh. Why should an actor have to bribe a producer just to be heard?
I wouldn't consider it bribery, because do you take your friends out to lunch, Biscuit? Do you think that's considered bribery?
Biscuit can't afford to share his cat biscuits with other aspiring actors.
Oh no, that's really
He only
sad.
has one cat biscuit a day. So, do you think it's bribery to buy lunch for a producer? Biscuit seems to think so.
Biscuit is probably right. I suppose if you cannot afford to take them out for lunch, just be nice to them and don't be entitled. So don't always be like, oh, when are you? Yeah, like do your own legwork, I guess, rather than just expecting them to email you. You should just do your own. Oh my god. Yeah.
I think Biscuit looks disappointed in Meg.
Meg is disappointed in Meg too.
So, when it comes to lunch, when I suggested that, it was the idea that when you are a nobody and you want to make an impression on a producer of any type, independent filmmaker, whatever, who represents somebody you want to work with, not just anyone, you should make a qualified judgment. Then make that introduction as positive and constructive as possible. If you want your relationship to have mutual benefit, then make sure you start by offering mutual benefit.
No, I agree.
Which is, if I want someone to spend their time giving me an opportunity, I should give them something that acknowledges the value of their time, and it might be a gesture, like taking them out to lunch. Mm-hmm. At least they get a free lunch. That's just one example, but it's something that it shows an acknowledgement, a token gesture that will make you stand out from the crowd. And most actors or aspiring actors don't do that. They only message with something that relates to themselves, their own benefit, and without thinking or considering anything of value with the producer's time. So that's what you do to stand out.
Yeah, no, I second that. That makes a lot of sense, and a lot of creatives do it as well, even when they want, say, a producer to fund something that they're making. They will just be like, oh, so how much money can you get, rather than sometimes even talking about what their project is and why it would benefit. So it goes for all creatives, but
filmmakers as well.
But definitely actors too.
What's your second highlighted point,
Oh,
Meg?
sorry.
Wow, well, what do we have here next?
Types of emails to send and not send.
Oh yeah, types of emails to send and what send. So what did I say about that back in the day?
You said no mass sent emails, which is pretty self-explanatory of that. That'd be a terrible idea anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It is difficult because you don't get a very good response rate. But if there's one way to guarantee your response rate is even worse, is to just pile in lots of very generic kind of information in your email and send it to 1 million people. Because producers are used to correspondence and having unsolicited communications, and they can tell right away who is or isn't thinking of them. And again, it's that mutual benefit thing. If you receive correspondence that doesn't give you any benefit or incentive to reply to, then of course you won't. And if anyone doesn't demonstrate an ability to understand the principle of mutual benefit, then again, there's very little incentive to respond to that sort of person, when in fact there will be someone that does.
Yeah. And also there are things like, what if you accidentally put the wrong name on your mass sent email? Or what if it's cringy to read something that obviously doesn't fit to you. So when you just don't mass send emails, there's no risk of that, which is ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good emails are ones that demonstrate knowledge of the producer, their work, but also show some forethought into how you can have a place with their company. So for example, if they're an independent film producer and you see that they work often with the same cast, then you should think of how you could get involved on the periphery at first, not try and jump in for any lead roles right away, or even do something to help the production. That might be not even actor related. It could be you begin sharing their social media posts and you help their marketing and you demonstrate a willingness to assist their company and their production efforts. Because most producers will hire people that demonstrate a willingness to help, especially in the independent film sphere. This obviously changes when it comes to those attempting to achieve success in the traditional sphere of casting and television, like BBC and everything like that. If you're trying to do that, then that's really hard, really tough. So, but we'll probably talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
So what else is on your highlighted sheets?
Okay. How to get cast. Number 1, skip the audition.
Yeah, well, Biscuit has some views on this as well. Oh, how to get cast. Well, Biscuit, I said it was important to skip the audition. What do you think? You want to ask Meg a question? Okay.
Hi.
How do you get cast? How do you get cast?
What?
What do you think gets you cast? Is that what you're... Yeah, that's...
There are many reasons that you could get cast.
What's your advice? Ooh.
Be good and be a nice person. And be interesting.
Yeah, I must have said something better than that. What did I say was my advice?
Well, you just said to skip the audition process.
Yeah, that's right. No, you don't need to be nice, be a good person, or be good.
That was exactly what you said, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Skipping the audition is the best way. But auditions are fair. No, they're not fair, Biscuit.
Well, I think you meant by skip the audition to just get that networking going by buying them lunch, and then you don't have to be in that position of, I don't know, I guess.
Biscuit says that's not fair to other actors. You're supposed to audition in a level playing field, and the best talent will rise to the top and get cast, preferably by professional casting directors.
This is your advice.
I know, but I'm not. That's what Biscuit says.
Biscuit, this is his advice. I don't agree with this.
Well, what do you think, Meg?
I think auditions are very fair.
Do you think auditions are fair?
Yeah.
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 Do they successfully allow actors of the greatest talent to rise to the top?
Probably not.
Oh, so they don't then?
They should, and most do.
Oh.
Right. Next question.
Wait, we're not done with auditions yet.
Okay.
So, well, wait, we have somebody else here. Meg sounds like the voice of the modern actor. Is that an insult, Sweetie Paws? Sweet.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think, just ignore Sweetie Paws. He's probably drunk. Yeah. So auditions, right, can be are important when they're fair. You successfully auditioned for the role of Jigme in Dragon Knight, and I used them to find talent as well, especially with self-tapes and things like that, which are very fair and useful. What about buying lunch? Yeah, well, they've not all bought lunch, Sweetie Paws.
Yeah, you'd get really fat if everyone bought you lunch.
Sweetie Paws wants to know if you want to buy him lunch. What are you doing, Sweetie Paws? Sweetie Paws, could you stop that? That's just icky. Is he dancing?
I'm not sure what he's doing.
What's he doing?
It's like a gyrating.
Well, don't do it to the camera, Sweetie Paws. That's just... I really don't know what's going on here.
Me neither.
Okay, right. I'll just put him down there. That was... Were you suggesting you should dance for parts in a film?
That is not what I was suggesting at all.
I think
and no one should dance for parts unless the role requires dancing.
if you have an audition room and you have, 20 men and 20 women, and you just have to make them all dance for you at the same time, that would be unethical.
I mean, unless it was a dance audition, yeah.
But if it was like a monologue, but instead they weren't asked to perform lines, but just to dance.
I mean, in drama school auditions, they'd probably make you do that.
What, so you wouldn't say any lines, you just dance?
They probably would, yeah.
Like what Sweetie Paws was doing?
Yeah.
That's dark.
I know.
You didn't enjoy that though? No. Because that would be terrible. Yep. So the
next...
What was that point again? It was about auditioning, yeah.
Yeah,
so
about auditioning.
Ideally, with an independent film, you want to try and skip the audition based on having a sincere, earnest relationship with the producer based on mutual benefit. You can only sustain so many relationships like that because it's just hard. It's hard enough keeping in contact with all your friends, especially if you're an actor, because you'll be so busy posting about yourself that, that posting messages to other people and thinking what they're thinking is just going to be very difficult.
Exactly.
But now we get to the other point, which is, well, what about all the casting directors and agents and all the auditions they bring you? And something I didn't touch on before, because my previous video was very much linked with independent film, was the regular industry. So many actors are promised auditions by agents or new agents, so long as they sign up with that agency as a client, or they sign up to courses which they pay to participate in, with the promise that they might get signed on to the agency, and they might subsequently be invited to audition.
Yeah.
And
Carrot with the stick.
now, without saying any names or anything like that,
No.
because we can't do that, have you had any experiences like that, or have you heard of people that have had experiences like that? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah. I myself might have had experiences like that, but I know that many of my friends have also had experiences. But yeah, there are many courses out there. The actors are there because they want to be signed with the agency, basically. But they are spending a lot of money doing that, and actors are usually broke, so that's not right.
Oh, Biscuits got something to say. Well, Biscuit's really excited because they're currently doing a course of workshops, acting training workshops for 6 to 18-year-olds. And it's a very special agent. They've got only 4,000 clients, which this particular agent carefully represents all by themselves with 2 PAs. And all their workshops are held over, video calls. That's great. Yeah. That's great. And you get to post all the stuff you've performed on social media wearing branded clothing that advertises the agent. That's exciting. Yeah, it's great. And you've been promised a chance here that if you're successful, if you're the most successful in the workshop program, that you might have a chance to get signed on and get parts. Well, that's exciting. So,
Good luck, Biscuit.
wow, Biscuit's excited because there was only 200 people in the last workshop, so you could almost see your pixelated face in the screen with all the others. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I haven't been there myself, but it sounds really exciting.
So, Biscuit, the workshop's only £50 each, and the course has only 300 classes. So, 300 times, what's 300 times 50? Tom, you're there, you could tell Biscuit. 300 times 50?
1,500.
1,500? That's only £1,500, Biscuit. Wow, that's...
Quite the bargain.
So, and one of the 1,000 students got a part in Hollyoaks. Oh wow, that's great.
Stop it, you're getting too close.
It's 15,000.
£15,000, Biscuit, £15,000, and you almost got a speaking role in Emmerdale, but you lost out to somebody else who better fitted the popular demographics of modern London casting. Sorry, Biscuit. That's a shame. It's not a good time to be a cream-coloured cat, is it?
Oh my God! You did not! You did not! Cut that out.
Okay, well, there goes Biscuit. There you go. But just remember, if you are a cream-coloured cat, your chances in normal terrestrial broadcasting is a little more limited.
He is outrageous. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Biscuit's gone.
Biscuit is outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, that was Biscuit's opinion.
Yeah.
I in no way endorse the Biscuit at all in anything that Biscuit says. But £15,000 is a lot of money to spend.
It sure is.
Yeah. Hello there. And you have something to add, do you? You think Biscuit is an idiot? No, it's not nice.
But it's true.
Sooty paws, no. But that. So anyway, yeah, if any of you are doing workshop series, no. If your agent has 1 million clients, no. Oh. If your new agent, yeah. Sooty Paw's favourite type of agent is those that register themselves as charities and make all their child puppets perform in annual plays so that they can justify their registered charitable status, so they can go on to collect all those lovely fees for mind-numbing workshops.
This isn't a YouTube video, this is just therapy.
Thanks, Sweetie Paws. Bye. That's him waving goodbye, I think, to all the money in your student overdraft accounts, aspiring actors, now being collected by agents. Yeah, agents, yeah.
Yes.
And of course, there's unfortunately only, William Morris Endeavour. That's your real agent. If they're not them, and the other big one in the US, and maybe the big one in London, then that's it. But, anyone that sounds like an entertainer at Blackpool isn't a serious agent. Remember those words.
Right, okay.
So there's...
Too close. Right, next question. Advice on showreels.
Ah.
You said everybody hates looking at showreels.
That's true, it's true. But let me just add one more thing about agents.
Okay.
When you get signed or recommended to be signed by an agent, almost certainly unscrupulous, it will often come with the caveats that you should disown all independent films you've produced or been involved in, should I say, previously, and that you shouldn't. Here's the sad truth, as I see it, that the whole horde of naive young people are like meat that are packed into one of those like sausage pressers, when you come out the other side. It's designed to ensure that only a 1% or whatever of their preferred clientele get all the work. They want to scoop you up so that you're in the system, you pay your fees for workshops, all that kind of stuff. But only a tiny amount get work. And to help that happen, they like to discourage as many people as possible from doing anything for the rates that are below the preferred rates of their preferred clientele. And in that case, they're part of a system that perpetuates a myth that you should not work for a certain amount, so that only a tiny amount work for the highest rates, which is invariably based around London and among those who are the benefits of the nepotism within the film industry. And you'll know that because if you're one of 3,000 signed to an agency, you're going to see the same half dozen people get all the work whilst you're sitting about trying to get out of your contract.
Yeah, when there are loads of clients, I feel like it can be kind of encouraging to try and suck up to the agent more and more in this hope that they're going to give you work.
They'll suck up to you as well. I mean, like if I was an agent and the conversations like this, okay, you're really promising. I see you've done a few independent short films. Were you paid union rates for those? Of course you're not being paid union rates for some student indie short films. Oh, that's terrible. Did they get you a private car to pick you up and bring you there? They didn't do that. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. We would always be the ones to make sure you never have to experience that trauma again. Just sign here and then sign up for our 400-step workshop course and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And actors fall for it because, unfortunately, the majority are emotional and oftentimes thick as fuck when it comes to the most important decision in their lives and their career, which is to let their feelings be exploited to the point where they are financially screwed. And they surrender their own agency, their ability to make decisions for themselves, to agents and managers. Think about it. Do directors of photography rely on agents and managers? Do gaffers rely on agents and managers? No. This whole industry of middlemen, agents and managers that has spawned themselves around actors is because actors have allowed themselves to be the eye of a storm of manipulation. And they have to take the opportunity to break out of that. And only independent film offers that opportunity if they can seize it and not fall prey to these kind of predatory practices.
Yeah, from my experience with agents and courses, there is quite a lot of manipulation going on. My words aren't quite as strong as yours.
Oh yeah, when you see an advert with an Oscar saying, "This could be you," which is what they all do.
Yeah, they all do that.
Yeah. So what else is on your highlight?
Okay.
Michael says there's seagulls out there, but you know, guys, we can't help the seagulls. If you hear them, we're sorry.
Oh yeah, advice on showreels. Showreels are hated and keep them as short as possible.
Yeah.
That was what you said
That's what I said.
in the video. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, showreels are best kept short and sweet, like this answer.
Okay. If you're an out-of-the-loop actor, how do you get back into acting? You said older actors are more interesting than younger actors, and you should appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, young people in general have heads like eggs, puffed eggs, with eyes drawn on with marker pens. But older folks
Have eggheads as well?
have refined, dignified, sculpted faces that wear their age with refined grace and dignity.
Oh, really?
They bring
Ooh.
a natural Shakespearean quality.
Yeah, you do look a bit like Shakespeare, actually.
Yeah, if Shakespeare was hot bod, you know, then sure, of course it would be me. So yeah, it's a funny point that I initially raised, but yeah, older actors are welcome. They're great. You know, it's hard, so much harder for young actors to get noticed and to be successful as well, because there's so many more of you.
Yeah, because more people give up
Yeah.
kind of earlier on, so there are less older actors, I suppose. And I always think a film looks way more expensive if there's a range of different ages. And yeah, genders, diversity, it is good.
Diversity, yes, right, yeah. No, it's and certainly it's a lot of fun for. I mean, a lot of the older folks that are getting into acting aren't people who trained as actors as well. There's folks that just get the bug because they love cinema and film, and they're still useful because if their face shows wear and tear and life experience, then that's something the camera can pick up on and use.
Yeah, and raw talent from not being technically trained.
So if you're just a pretty-faced young thing, then you have to kind of think, you know, how you can stand out. I guess we'll look at that in a minute, but age is definitely an asset.
Yes. General advice. Actors are hated by the crew. That's what you said.
No.
You said all actors should consider themselves despised.
Oh,
Why
no.
do you think that?
I don't know. That's oh, Biscuit seems quite upset by this. He's like, well, Biscuit, Megan,
Biscuit, Megan.
how can I begin to explain those earlier opinions I had? Yeah, but Biscuit's shocked because he gave the camera operator a one-man show about his spiritual fulfillment, which consisted of a showcase gallery of the latest headshots with a recorded voiceover monologue about how humanity found salvation through the appreciation of those headshots.
What was the question again?
Well, you have your shape.
Oh, they're hated by the crew.
Yeah. And so I guess you're suggesting, Biscuit, how could the camera op not like your, you know, your headshot monologue video of an hour long? Yeah. I don't know. It's I guess because it was I don't know.
I don't think Biscuit's a narcissist.
No.
You're cute.
You only post 8 times a day. headshots of yourself. Okay. And you're really grateful that humanity is on the right course because it appreciates you. Oh, okay. Well, that's great, Biscuit.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's great for Biscuit, but that kind of shows a point.
Yeah. So actors need a slice of humble pie. That's
Yeah.
what Biscuit's implying.
No, Biscuit's implying that crew can eat shit.
Sorry, demonstrating.
I mean, that's a little bit of a comical exaggeration to say that the crew...
Not all actors are like that.
No, Biscuit's like that, I'm sure, but the crew don't always hate actors.
No.
No, they usually hate actors, but they don't always hate actors.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes actors have a right to hate the crew on lower budget projects as well.
Oh yeah? Like what?
You know, like if they're forced to go through terrible things, covered in mud and goo and...
So your films?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. And so much worse. But like, in general, the crew they're up earliest, they finish latest, they suffer all kinds of physical ordeals, and actors, they have their own set of challenges, which genuinely are immensely difficult. But their challenges mostly occupies, in general, an emotional space rather than a physical and academic space, which is what the crew have to do. They have to make sure the gear is set up right and stuff and things like that. So they're coming from different worlds of experience.
Yeah, both lots of focus, but just very different types of focus.
That's right. And emotional work is not, by and large, in life, seen as real work compared to academic or physical. Not that actors don't include some academic and some physical, but it's not quite the same as cinematography, setting up gear, spending months on a computer, you know, like those 8 days or 6 days on set.
And I guess even if we do consider them similar, well, they're not at all, they're very different, but just actors get a lot more praise and kind of thanks, and the crew just don't get a lot of thanks. So I guess that's why just appreciate the crew.
Well, that's right, because if some folks that are actors, this is earlier career stuff, they have an emotional insecurity about performing the role. It's challenging, it's stressful, they're exposed in front of the camera. And so a certain flamboyance is something they might do to make themselves feel a little bit more confident, a bit better.
Really?
You know,
a certain flamboyance?
They can do, yeah. Like when you wore that multicoloured bird suit on the first day of Dragon Night, and you were covered in pigeon beaks. It was horrifying.
You said you liked that.
It was interesting, and it's possible to kind of grate on the crew as well if they look for emotional affirmation from them, or they just, you know, by performing effectively for them and things like that.
So you're saying they might find it annoying?
Yeah, actors can naturally be annoying to anybody, but especially to crew. And if you have any doubt about that, just go to actor Facebook groups and and you'll instantly be dismayed by a whole wall of evidence for that argument. But that isn't to say that what can make them annoying isn't without justification. Again, they have emotional challenges, they have these difficult things. To do a performance in front of the camera is hard. And this isn't about saying whether actors are annoying, you know, because obviously crews are annoying, so everyone can be annoying.
Anyone can be annoying.
But for you as the actor, you don't want to be the annoying actor. You want to be the actor that is beloved by the crew. You want to be the one that is like, you know what, they were all bastards except for that person. We loved that person.
Yeah.
Because that kind of recommendation will carry its weight after the production ends, and it will go into the collective memory of the production team, the director, the producer, and it will see your sweet ass back on camera in the next production. if you're someone that treats it like you're doing them a favour. And I have known through my long and varied career actors who were complete assholes that treated every production that either they did with me or with other companies I know as stepping stones to this illusionary greatness that they thought was just around the corner. And where are they all now? Dead.
Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty rude to treat people as stepping stones in productions. You're right.
That's, yeah, good,
Okay.
good follow on. Yeah.
I don't know what to say after that. Jeez.
To an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. If you haven't been cast again, you fucked up, but that kind of. Yeah.
Is that a question, Megan?
Yes? Next question.
If you haven't been cast again, then that's all you need to know about how well you did.
Possibly. I mean, not always. What if you're just genuinely not
You're
right
rubbish.
for any part on
Despise.
this film?
What happened was the director walked from the last take you did, stared in the mirror, and then punched it, imagining it was your face, and it shattering to 1,000 pieces was them hoping that that's your dreams.
Or you might just not have been right for that movie.
Yeah. 1,000 pieces, your dreams.
How to be a friend to the production. Last time you said not bitching, helping crew, not complaining about finishing late.
Yeah.
Any other things to add from your new experiences of how to be a friend to the production?
Yeah, being a friend to the production is actually easier than it sounds. But isn't all you have to do is try and put others first.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Now, for an ordinary person, that would be easy, but for actors, this is a special challenge that is due for some careful consideration. When you arrive on set, say hello to everyone, look them in the eye, say to them, hope you're having a good day, thanks for the great work. And you will literally see the crew clam up because they're used to just getting abuse from the directors and producers. They'll be like injured soldiers in a First World War trench looking up at you with a glimmer of hope in their eyes. You know, you'll be like some kind of angel gliding over their trenches. You can be that as an actor. And to be a friend of the production is also when the producer and the director look like they're about to have a nervous breakdown because something's gone wrong. Well, you be the person that helps contribute to it being right. If they need to pack up the gear and move to another location to reshoot something, do it without complaint. In fact, do it with enthusiasm. Do it in a way that motivates the rest of the crew to kind of feel pumped that they can have the energy as well, that you can provide as an actor, as a performer, that you can uniquely provide as a performer. And you will win the hearts of a producer who will say, geez, they actually helped. And I've seen that with my own productions, where the crew were tired and it was a long day, and actors helped to give them a second wind so that they were able to do it, as opposed to any other actors with kind of moany faces,
Yeah, it's
being
dragging
like,
everything down.
kind of like,
yeah.
well, when are we finishing? Or I've got Pilates class, and it's like,
You, Pilates?
no, not me, but so.
Right. Yeah. You've just covered it. What more can I say?
Have
I
you got-
agree.
You got your little sheet?
Yeah. Kill me.
It's okay. Sooty Paws here wants to do a letterbox review of your interview. It's oh. Aww.
Okay, so you mentioned sharing the film on social media is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things I've always noticed is any producer notices when they're trying to sell a film, or if you're involved in distribution marketing, getting the word out for your product is a nightmare. It's super hard and it's extremely competitive. So any help whatsoever to get posters, trailer links, or especially things with crowdfunding is really very appreciated. Now, there's a lot of actors who, if they're married to the idealized vision that they're going to be one of the select few to kind of, become like a star on a Netflix series or something like that, then they don't have to, it's beneath them. But for most of you, it's like, it's not. And for those that do succeed in that way, they've got a whole heap of other problems. And I know, I've worked with name talent for years back as a freelance producer, I can tell you. No one's happy with their lot. They've always got a different set of shit to deal with. So, if you're the kind of aspiring actor that's done a couple of indie films, but you think you're hot shit and you're going to become some Netflix star, so you're not going to share links, you're kind of above that. First of all, fuck you. And secondly, start doing it because you need to. You need to be part of the system that you're actually in and start getting involved in the business you're really working in, which is selling movies.
No, I agree with that. If you're not a name, then yeah, you've got to sell it somehow. And also,
well, of course, when you are a name, that's the sole reason you're employed.
Yeah, exactly.
To sell movies.
Yeah, but any actor should just want to anyway. Like, it's good to be proud of what you do and get it out there because it's going to help everybody, really.
Absolutely. If you're not selling movies, then you're not making movies. Then you're not in show business. Then
Showbiz.
you're just in wank business. Sweetie, pause. That's very crude. I'm sorry. Yeah. You go away in shame.
What?
Yeah, wank business. He said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I didn't quite catch it the first time.
Self-indulgent masturbation reference, I think.
Okay. Right. We've done that one.
Are we still on the first page?
No! Thank God, no, we're not.
Tom's about to have a stroke there.
Oh my God, I'm about to have a stroke.
Michael. I'm worried
Oh
about
yeah.
that.
We're worried about Michael. Why? What's wrong with Michael?
Because he has to concentrate and look at this.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Michael's natural face is one of concentration, though. It's
Right.
He's already asleep, like, with his eyes open.
So what's your next, Dim?
So knowing your casting type and embracing your look, that's what you recommended to do. You still agree with that?
Yeah. It's important. And to offer a second opinion, we should ask Biscuit. Because
Really?
Biscuit's been auditioning a lot recently. But yeah, whilst Biscuit is getting himself ready, yeah.
Biscuit's getting himself ready. What are they doing under there?
Yeah, if you've got a unique set of well, we all have unique physical attributes, and we should embrace those because producers, casting directors, they're not going to reinvent the wheel. In fact, casting directors are pretty much only hired to find people that fit the physical description the producers have given them. People have this weird idea sometimes that casting directors are choosing them. They're not. Producers have already determined what they want. It's like writing a shopping list, right, of what you want from the supermarket and sending someone else to go and get the shopping. You're not persuading the casting director that you're a bag of peas. You are a bag of peas or you're a bag of carrots. So
Okay.
So you're not going to become that bag of peas and get picked. You basically, so long as you're competent and look like the physical description of whatever the producers have decided to fetishize for the purposes of their series, then that's it.
Yeah.
If they want a big, buff, sexy-looking guy with kind, dark eyes, then
Is that what you want?
Then, well, I am. Then that's what they're going to want. Diversity, you mentioned at the moment, is the big reason why Biscuit's not been too successful at the moment with this casting. Sorry, Biscuit, you know. But now that the BBC are moving a lot of their work to the north of England, you might have a chance. No?
What?
Well, they are. Yeah, they're having Channel 4 as well and moving a lot of production to north of England. But in general, though, sorry, Biscuit. There you go. So basically, at the moment, diversity is it's a trendy thing. It's a good thing, but it's especially trendy and fetishized to the point now where the majority of casting for many mainstream television programs are going to look for unique physical attributes that most people in this country demographically who are pursuing acting won't possess. You know, it's just a simple fact. The vast majority are white. In terms of diversity in casting at the moment, it would maybe be like, I don't know, 2/3 are white, maybe half, you know what I mean? Something like that. So that means thousands are out the game. So that means if you have something unique about you, and you're part of this majority that won't get cast, then you really have to think, well, what can I do to stand out? To be, you know, and sometimes it's hard as well because certain looks just are in fashion and aren't in fashion. I mean, we know that, in fact, in terms of fashion, you know, with like women's appearances, certain decades have physical attributes that are more in demand than others. It's no different in casting as well.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I often think that it's actually easier for folks that have unique physical attributes, more in terms of like very unique, in terms of character acting, just to get work. If you've got a big nose, if you've got funny ears, if you've got whatever you want to call it, you know, use it. You know, if
empowering.
If I had a big nose and I looked more like a wizard or a professorial, then you know what? I'd be going for roles like that, and I'd be showing up everywhere in like a velvet jacket or something, you know.
Oh wait.
Oh no, like that, yeah. Obviously, I have to fight against the stereotype of being a mere sex object. That's a challenge I always had. If you're a big guy, right, you work at the gym, but you got like big puffy ears or something like that, then you know what? Great, maybe they're cauliflower ears. You've been in fights a lot, you know, and you can get those roles as a thug or as a heavy. You know what? It still pays the bills, right? Traditionally, in acting, at least even from my experiences 20 years ago and still today, folks are encouraged to perform or encouraged to have the idea that they can perform any character, that they're not the real actor unless they could play like a boxer one day and Mahatma Gandhi the other. And of
Not
course,
everyone's Christian Bale.
No, or Sir Ben Kingsley, and that's you know the film industry and theatre, but the film industry especially does not want people that can play anything. They just want you to look like and be like what they see. And that's actually the frustration for a lot of actors because they never really get to play a lot of roles that are different to whatever impression people have of them.
Yeah, they're like pigeonholed.
Yeah. You're a filmmaker, a writer, and an actor. As an attractive young woman, you'll struggle to be able to play characters out with the impression folk have based on your physicality. And it'll be the same as well for folks that that are considered unattractive for a certain reason. That will also define the kind of characters they will be asked to play. And to break that convention is a massive challenge. You could spend your life and a lot of wasted time trying to challenge that. And if you do, you know, well, fine, good for you if that's what your dream is, if you want to be somebody else and do that. But just be aware that you're going against the tide.
If there's a character you really want to play, then you should make your own film and play it, I think. Give it a try and just see how it goes. And you might even change your casting type. It's very easy to break out. Well, it's not very easy to break out, but you might be able to break out of your casting type if you demonstrate you're able to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
What is that?
Oh. Oh, sweet pause. Sweetie Paws would like to watch your film, but only after you've watched his film.
Oh, that's wrong.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah. That's quite the cold hard stare.
Yeah, I don't think I want to watch Sweetie Paws film.
Next question.
Well, look, let me follow on though with the point. You said that folks should make their own films.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Right.
This is the thing. Actors, if you think of yourself as just actors, don't. The best thing you can do is begin thinking of yourself as artists who are capable of multiple disciplines and then engaging in those.
As an actor, you are powerless. Take back your power.
Yeah. Shoot stuff.
Yeah.
You know, play the characters you want. And, you know, I think eventually it would be great to do a video on how actors could look at sustaining themselves through creating media as well,
sure.
and contributing to their bills, doing that and letting people experience your artistry without the limitations and definitions imposed by the so-called real industry, which will see you know, be one of the 99% of actors not working at any one time or whatever, according to equity. Probably scrubbing toilets and paying workshop fees for some child agent. You know. What else do
What
we have?
else do we have?
It's exciting. We're on the final sheet.
Yeah. Oh, Pleasantness trumps talent.
Yeah, now that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's the opinion shared by most producers, especially independent film producers. There's one exception I can think of to this, but by and large, 90%, if you are 80% as good as another actor, right, but that other actor who is 20% better is an asshole, then I will hire you, Mr. or Mrs. 80%, because it makes my life a lot easier and it makes the crew's life a lot easier.
Yeah.
So what happens to Mr. 100%? Well, they start to develop a reputation for being difficult, and they probably end up, you know, voicing and venting their frustrations on Facebook groups, bitching and moaning, which only adds to that reputation. So what is the exception to this rule? Probably name talent. Now, name talent might have started out being reasonable, but the hypocrisies of the industry, because don't forget, actors get a lot of shit to deal with, a lot of shit, and it's not a surprise that it eventually becomes, I guess, what one might call toxic for them. And so for many name actors, they become more demanding and difficult as a way to vent their frustrations at the limitations imposed on them by an industry that only wants them to dance to the same tune they've always played, which is why they're hired as a name. So they can be difficult. Tom Cruise can be difficult, but you're not Tom Cruise. You're somebody on, I don't know, Actors UK Facebook group moaning or something. And if you're at that level, then it's in your interest to become pleasant and friends with everyone.
Yeah, and even just being an asshole shouldn't be rewarded. Like if say as a filmmaker, if somebody was just really rude to me, or they say, I don't know, unfriended me on Facebook because I didn't give them a part in my latest film and they were that petty, I wouldn't work with them again. Why should I?
Yeah,
They shouldn't be allowed to get away with that and then get this reward after doing that, in my opinion, no matter how good they are.
No, I agree.
Because there are loads of actors out there.
Like Biscuit, you could hire Biscuit.
Yeah, I'll hire Biscuit.
Yeah, Biscuit.
I like Biscuit. Biscuit's really
Biscuit's
cute.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
But not Sweetie Paws. Sweetie Paws, dangerous, yeah.
Dangerous, man. talking down a little film creates a bad impression of your attitude. This kind of goes quite well with what we were just saying, actually.
Yeah, that's right. It's a difficult one, but if you've got nothing good to say about a film you've been in, be very careful about bitching about it.
I agree.
We've all worked on crap sometimes. It happens, right? Or your experience might be crap on a production that's considered good. But if you start moaning about it, then every producer will know that in theory, you could end up moaning about their production in a highly public way. There was, at the moment, there's a kind of fetish for bitching on Twitter from name actors.
Yeah.
Kind of low-level name actors, especially those that are trying to get in on the whole grief politics type stuff right now. Bad-mouthing the studio that's just hired them for something. Normally if they're not cast in a new series.
Oh.
And it's like, you're burning your bridges. Yes, you might double your Twitter followership, but what about your career? And the same applies at the lowest level. It is a small community when it concerns people that actually do work hard and can make a difference for your careers. A lot of people say they do it, but for those that could actually pay you and do decent stuff at the independent film level, there's not loads, and it doesn't take long. Only a few, the amount of times I've had producers tell me, or film directors, oh, don't hire this person, be careful, they did this on my set or that on my set, and I'm like, holy shit, okay. It's not worth being one of those people, or then having to try and fight that reputation for that, because it sticks. It's not easy. Yeah,
because even if something was a bit crap, you don't want it to inhibit you from getting good work in the future. So it's just don't talk about it.
Yeah, and obviously we're not talking about things that are very serious issues.
Yeah, no. Don't pester for showreel material.
Oh God, yeah. The showreel material is my biggest bugbear ever.
I've been guilty of that in the past, not gonna lie. Confessions.
Well, here's the thing, right? Say you're hired in for a movie, right? So what happens? Film gets shot, you get paid, hopefully, and it's in post, right? And it's not available to buy yet. This is if we're talking a feature film.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst the film's in post, is it really appropriate for you to say to the producer, can I get some of this movie that's not yet available for public viewing, and can I have it on my website or start sharing it on Facebook? Does that happen with any commercial film? Of course not. So right away, what you're saying to the producer is you don't consider their film to be commercially equal to every other commercial film out there, or in terms of standard practice. So that you've already just insulted the producer. Also, even if they do agree, it is a nuisance for them to start asking their editor to cut and dice your film so that you can have your scenes. Now you might think, well, an actor's entitled to at least have his scenes in a showreel. Well, nah, you're not.
Maybe after it's come out, but...
Oh, of course, but you're not entitled to ask the producer and have him fulfill it. It would be the same as the producer saying to the actor, yeah, why don't you come in a day later and do some ADR for free? Because they both take time. It would be much more standard for actors to simply get a copy of the film once it's finished. Or if the producer gives them materials that they can edit themselves, then that is reasonable, but only after the film is released. So don't be one of those actors that harasses producers for materials before film is distributed. If you volunteered and it's a short film or something like that, it might be a bit different because you've got more of a leg to stand on because you've not been paid, and if the short film's not getting finished but the material you thought was really good, then you know what? Then I think it's more reasonable to get some of that material in advance.
Or one thing I've done in the past with short films like, if the director or producer is okay with it, then you can just do like a private show reel. So you do get the footage to use, but you can't just make it public. It's just for certain people, say if you're looking for agents or to send to other directors. But again, not everyone's okay with that, and you've got to get permission first.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. That's I think that's all the.
Yep.
It's interesting hearing your perspective as an artist whose work includes acting as well, because all that inflammatory producer biased perspective seemed quite compatible.
Yeah, it does. Actually, I watched this video maybe a few years ago, and I remember being like, oh, he's really harsh. But now I agree with you.
Oh,
what have
no,
you done
that's
to
terrible. How does it feel knowing that you've betrayed all actors? Oh, Biscuit. Yeah, he was really looking forward to his 420-second workshop that happens next week.
420 seconds?
Yeah, he thinks he's got a real chance against the 12 to 16s.
Oh. Biscuit, I hate to break it to you, but you have no chance and you should just give up.
Well, I think that sums it up, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to Channel Hex so you can see more videos of Megan Tremethick abusing cats called Biscuit. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.